Hi kids, welcome to another episode of Sunday School to Go. I'm Pastor Katie Jans from St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Verona, New York. You can tell I'm back here on the storytelling part of my couch, and we're going to continue to hear the story of Holy Week in this episode. Now this is going to be part 3 of Holy Week, so if you haven't watched this, you might want to go back and watch the other 2 parts, part 1 and 2, and that way you'll know the whole story. And of course, there's more after this too. This is a story that keeps on going. So, the story for today, our last story was Maundy Thursday. It was on Maundy Thursday, and this is kind of a story about what happened overnight between Maundy Thursday and the next day, Good Friday. So we kind of have an in the middle kind of a story here. All right, and I'm reading this from the Spark Story Bible, published by Spark House Press, also known as Augsburg Fortress. All right, and the title that they give this is Jesus is Betrayed. And in our last video, we talked about what betray means. If you don't know that word, betray kind of means like if you trust somebody and then they do something like they didn't deserve your trust. If you trust them and then they let you down, that might be one way that they might betray you. In this case, they turn Jesus, someone turns Jesus in, and you'll find out who. I think you'll find out who. Okay, let's find out. Jesus is betrayed. Jesus had a good friend named Peter, who was there when Jesus healed people and made miracles happen. Jesus liked Peter so much, he gave Peter the nickname The Rock. Not the same as the wrestler people, different, or the actor. No, this is way before that. The Rock. Jesus had another friend named Judas. Jesus, Peter, and Judas, and the other disciples spent lots of time together. They were all together when Jesus told them that his life had to end. It was a sad and hard time for Jesus and his friends. Jesus felt so sad that he went to a quiet place in a garden and prayed. "Please, God," Jesus prayed, "make me strong. Help me trust you." Jesus asked the disciples to come to the garden and stay awake while he prayed, but they fell asleep. You can see a picture. You can see the sleeping disciples there and praying Jesus right there. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Jesus told the disciples 3 times. When Jesus finished praying, it was time for them to go and face hard things. Even though Jesus had many friends, he had some bad enemies too. Some people were scared that Jesus would change the world too much with love. Judas got scared too. He let Jesus down. Judas told some of Jesus' enemies where Jesus was. When soldiers came to the garden, Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek to show them who they were looking for. The soldiers took Jesus away. Judas and Peter ran away and hid. They were so scared. There you can see the soldiers coming to get Jesus. And Judas kissing Jesus on the cheek. Later, Peter waited outside the place where Jesus was on trial. A girl saw Peter and said, "He's a friend of Jesus. He's in trouble too." Peter wanted to help his friend Jesus, but he was scared. So he pretended he didn't know Jesus. "I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him," Peter said. His lie made him feel even worse inside. Peter ran away again. He cried and cried. Peter felt so sad for Jesus. Peter felt very, very sorry. But Jesus knew that Peter loved him. Jesus knew that Peter was his friend. That's why he had given Peter such a special job. The rock became a strong leader in the church. This is later, but just so you know what happened to Peter, he told many, many people about his best friend, Jesus. I know him, I know him, I know him, Peter told everyone. And that was the truth. So you get a little preview about what happens later for Peter. But this chapter for Peter and for Jesus is really, really sad. Here's a picture of what it might have looked like. Peter looks kind of frightened there. Maybe you know what it's like to have a friend let you down. It's not a good feeling. So, this is a very sad story. The craft to go with this part of the story is actually, it looks kind of like this. And you can see it actually is a picture of the garden. The garden, and this is Jesus praying, and there's going to be some trees and some flowers and some, I think you might even have some sleeping disciples in here. But it's a picture of that night in the garden when Jesus was praying and when he was arrested. So as you put this together, you can think about what it might have looked like, what it might have felt like, what it might have sounded like to be there in the garden with Jesus and the disciples. All right, now kids, I don't want to scare you, so don't worry, don't forget, this is not the end of the story. There's more to come. So, we're going to close this episode, but please make sure to join us for the next episode of Sunday School to Go. Bye.